that we'll do. We are live.
Well, even putting a doll face on a
doll face on a human body. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome, welcome. We are so glad you're here. We welcome you to Happy Paper People. It is Monday, which means Monday Jumpstart. We're very excited because we all
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We've got Sarah here. We've got Dawn Marie here, all ready to do some imagination or imagining. It is June and we are imagining. All right, so YouTube did some kind of update because something has changed and it is not. So pulling up. Did some kind of update because something has changed.
That's my phone.
Somebody has a YouTube open.
Sorry, it's off now.
Let's see. I am trying to pull YouTube up on the TV and it is not
working.
Unless I have to go all the way over here. These are things that are live now, and that's everybody but us, everybody in the world. Good grief, there's a lot of live right now. And we should be at the front of that because we just went live. They're in order. Yes, they are. Okay, recent lives. Well, that isn't working. Okay, they've moved where it is. It used to be in library. Well, they moved it, again. So last time they moved it, I had to go to library and then go across to your videos. But it's really not a video, it's live. Oh, there it is. How weird is that? Until it was live, it didn't show up. Wow. Okay, it's there. There it is. Whoa. How weird. I thought the volume was, the sound was off on that. Apparently not. Hello, everybody. Sorry for hitting the camera there. Let me go back and let's say hello to Margie. Just in time. Still the first one here. Good to see you, Margie. Hey, Glennis. Hi, and happy birthday to Glennis.
Hi, Glennis.
Happy birthday, Glennis.
Happy birthday.
Hello to Jen, who is listening in while she's working. We won't tell anybody. Awesome. Good to see you, Jen. Even if you can't participate, we know you're here. Hey, Kathy. Good to see you. Let's see. It was live for quite a while. Peekaboo, we see you. Yeah. Yeah. You could see us. Well, once we went live, we knew we were live. I was just trying to find it on YouTube because it wouldn't come up before we were live. That's weird. Okay. So anyway, June. Oh, I forgot to print out the type of what the June challenges are, but that's okay because we're going to talk about them so everybody can remember and know. So June is all about expanding our imagination and expanding our definition or idea of collage. Everybody loves collaging, right?
Yep, I love it.
Yes, I do.
Why do we love collaging?
Because it takes our brain functions away.
Yes. Very well said.
It's brainless. We don't have to think about it. Yeah, it's relaxing. It's very, it's one of those no-brainers when you want to clean up your desk but you don't have the energy. Just sit down and collage with all the bits and pieces on your desk and it'll clean them up and also be relaxing at the same time. So no-brained. Exactly, Kathy. So here's the thing. We collage and we typically take a piece of paper. We take a piece of paper and we collage. It looks
like this when you collage.
There you go. Just like that. We either collage. So, we just kind of like the placement of everything. We cut it up into tags or ATCs, something like that. Or we collage a master board that we don't cut up, that we make copies of because we really, really like it. And we have talked several times about the difference between masterboard and just a collage. And I know there's still a lot of confusion out there because I hear it in people's videos. Must be an alien. Margie's an alien because she doesn't like collage. So it's okay because it's gluey. Margie doesn't like gluey.
Oh, she doesn't like gluey.
And that's totally okay. I am going to try collage today with a glue stick. I do have several of them that I never use. And I decided that I should try to use them up before they just dry out and I throw them away because that's kind of a waste of money. So for the 4 weeks in June, the 4 Mondays in June, we are going to collage in a different way than we have before. It doesn't mean that you might not have done something or one of these styles. It's going to get a little bit more involved and a little bit more fun and a little bit more out of the box every week. So we're going to start real basic with just collaging something, collaging an image. So here's my sample. I collaged a banana. And so it is just bits and pieces of torn up paper. Even the black stuff at the end is this is all from gel prints. And then I outlined it in marker. I've noticed that a lot of people, after they collage, they'll take marker or they'll take colored pencil, you know, and shade or doodle on it or different things. So, but this is just gel prints. So there's 2 components to the challenge. This week, the challenge will be to take something, some kind of an image, and collage that image. So could be a banana, could be a cardinal. I've got a cardinal I think I'd like to do. Could be anything you want, and you'll see DM and Sarah both doing something different. We're going to talk about where to find those images or how to get them. And the second part of the challenge is to use paper that you have made. So either that would be either paper that you've gel printed. Some of you don't gel print. That's okay. It could be paper that you have sprayed. So you might just take, I often take paper and just put it in my splat box and set stencils on it and spray and do more sprays and just create papers that look like they came from the gel plate, but they've all been done with sprays. So that is totally okay too. You might have created paper, altered paper other ways too, with gesso, with paint, other kinds of things. So the challenge is to use paper that you have created or altered in collaging an image. Very, very simple. You can get something like this. You can go to any browser and you can search on the internet. You could search fruit outlines or outline of fruit and get a bunch of fruits like this. You could search a specific bird. You could say outline of a cardinal and you'll get just some black and white outlines like this. So when you print it out, you aren't using a whole bunch of red ink. You could go to coloring books. Both of these.
That's what this is.
Okay, cool. Both of these that I have in front of me are coloring books. And this is an adorable cat from the coloring book. I don't necessarily want to do all these teeny tiny little things in here. I might want to, you know, do it differently. And I don't want to get rid of this page because I really like it. I might want to use it a couple of times. So you could make copies of this. Maybe you don't have a copy machine. I'm going to show you how you can copy it without a copy machine. And that way you could use it multiple times. Here's another really good example. Here's an owl. He would be so cool to collage. But look at all those little tiny feathers. I am not collaging every one of those tiny little things. But I would like his outline, his image, you know, all the major details, just not every teeny tiny little feather. I want to see where the wings go. You know, I want the cheeks, the beak, the eyes, all of this stuff. And then I could collage him, you know, how I want. So let's talk for just a minute about how to transfer an image like this. We'll use the owl because he's very detailed. So he's a perfect example. How to transfer an image to a piece of paper so that you could collage it and have the basic outline, not have all the little tiny details. Okay, that's not plain paper. I don't want to destroy that. Here's some right here. All right, so you take your image, whatever it is that you want to transfer, and I'm going to use a graphite pencil. Any soft lead pencil will work, really. And I won't do the whole thing, but I'll just like do the top, like where his head is. Just kind of go to the side and cover. You only have to cover all the areas that have any image that you want to transfer. I mean, if the thing is really skinny down the middle, you don't need to go across the whole page. You just need to go skinny down the middle. So I need to cover this with graphite, and I'll just do the top here with his head, because that should be plenty to show you. Okay, and that should be enough. And if you have to, you can come back and go over it a little bit more to make it just a little bit darker. So all I've done is pencil, basically graphite pencil over the back. And so now I come to the front, and I'll take him. I also got part of my paper there. It's okay. I'll put him down on my paper like this. I should probably do the whole thing because I probably want him. And I'm going to take a regular pen, just a regular pen. And I am going to outline him everywhere that I want the outline to show up on my paper. So I don't want every teeny tiny little feather, so I'm not going to do that. And so I need to decide, on the edge, there's little tiny feathers sticking out. Do I want those, or do I just want a line? I'll probably just do a line, and then while I'm collaging, if I want to collage little feathers coming out, I can do that, because I'm going to cover the line anyway. And that will just give me, all I need is the basic outline, because from there, I can choose what I'm going to collage. Okay, and I definitely want these little wispies that come out here. I have to kind of look at this and see what all I want to come out on the paper.
Actually, they do, Margie, make that kind of paper. She's just showing that anybody can make it.
There's transfer paper, there's tracing paper.
I was going to show you how I was going to trace this with tracing paper.
Yeah.
But I'm getting some pink on this kind of tracing paper so I can do my lady.
So the whole point of this is just, if you don't have transfer paper, if you don't have tracing paper, you've got a pencil and a blank piece of paper, and you've got an image that you want, you can get that image. You do not have to have any special kind of paper. There's always ways to do everything without going and buying a bunch of stuff. And you don't always have it either in stock or on hand, or even have it or even know about it. So let's see what we've got here. I've only done just a small portion of it. So that's the only portion that I've done. And I can tape him down, washi tape him down, so that I can lift him up and say, oh, I would like a little more detail, right there. So I'll put in a few more of the lines, kind of thing. But you can see all you have to do is go over your image then with this pen that digs in real nicely. Doesn't destroy this, but I wouldn't go over an image that I really like the image and want to keep the image, because I am going to have pen marks on it for sure. You thought you were so dang old. Yes. Yeah, they do make tracing paper and transfer paper.
Yeah, if anybody can figure out something else to use the transfer paper for, I have so much of that black sheets with that you used to put between these things to trace things on.
It's great for mark making.
Yeah, I have lots of
put
stuff.
It on our gel prints. I have a whole mess of that too. Put it on. I haven't even thought to pull it out when we were doing something though, when gel printing or any of those other altered papers, and then just make scratching on it here and there. So okay, so DM is putting some tracing paper, and she is tracing an image out of a very old magazine. She doesn't want to destroy that cool ad that she's taken it from, so she's just going to trace it. And the other thing you can do, if you want to take that out of the magazine, you don't care about keeping the magazine. If the purpose of it is to tear it up and use it, you can pull out the image that you want. And Dan was saying earlier how good flowers are for this, because when you pull them out, the flower is already colored, and it's kind of like paint by number. It shows you exactly what colors, where you want light, where you want dark, if there's shadow, that kind of thing. So you can pull out your image. So this one isn't colored, but a colored one will give you that guide already. So you don't have to trace it. You can just take the piece of paper out of the magazine. You can take it off of a calendar. So Sarah is going to use a mandala. Is that out of a coloring book?
Yes. Yes.
So that will be cool. And that's got a lot of intricate things. So the other thing with intricate pieces is I could look at this and say, I am not going to do every teeny tiny feather in 5 colors. Like this has stripes on every feather, but I will do the whole feather of one color, you know, however you want to do it. So you don't have to do, if she's got itty bitty sections, she could combine sections and say, I'm going to do these 2 as one section.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing today. So if you have an image that you pulled out of a magazine or a coloring book, or if you have something that you want to trace or transfer to a paper, I think I'm going to do this cardinal. We're going to go ahead and collage those. And so the challenge, just to repeat, the challenge this week is to collage an image, any image that you want. That is completely up to you. It can be something, you could hand draw this. You could hand draw a bird or a flower or something. It can be out of a magazine, coloring book. Hang on a minute there. I think somebody just rang the doorbell. Let me just take a look and see. Let's see. So a city worker. DM, can you take over for a minute?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So what I've done with this is that it's hard to see once I pull it off. Let's see if I can get it. Woo! Things are flying. I don't know if that's easier to see, but I just took this, drew on top of it. I didn't put any of the seeds in. I did very random shapes. Like you can see that my flower here's the violet probably has like 12 leaves on it, but I only put a couple big ones. Because what I'm going to do from this is I'm actually going to look at this while I'm doing it on this in order to get my colors right. Now the pink, I may change it to a different color because it's hard to find. I don't have any of this light pink in my stuff. Purple, I should be able to do. The greens, I should be able to do. I mean, I didn't even put the veins in this, although I'm going to, because there are 2 different kinds of flowers here. The African violet has much different veining than the rose. The rose also has jagged edge, which I did not do. If I want to do that when I get to the time. The other thing I did here is there's actual shadows on it, and this is just me because I love shadows. I love doing things with shadows. So you can see that there's shadow right down here. And you can see it really good on the tomato. So I sort of put a little bit of a shadow there so that if I find some gray or some brown, or once I'm finished with doing it and I go over it with a soluble pencil, I can put the shadows in where they're supposed to belong without thinking to myself where they need to go. That makes things a lot easier. So I thought this was really pretty because, I mean, how often do you see a tomato, African violet, and a rose together in a thing? I think it's sort of funny. And yeah, this came from a Woman's Day, 1979, April 24. So what I'll do now is I have this, and I'm just going to find my pieces and put it on this. Red's going to be easy. Purples are going to be easy. The little yellow in the center is probably going to be easy. The greens, I have quite a few greens. But like I said, that pink, I'm going to be pushing it to try to find the pink.
Margie says, no pink, but
pink. I may have to, I did do this for the face of the other one, which I just painted it on paper. And this is, of course, this is Jane Davenport coloring for when she does her people. And this is the lightest one they have.
That is cool.
So I just put that on this, and I'm hoping it will dry.
And look at the thin paper she did that on, so it could be the face.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look as heavy as the rest of the
Right. And it's the same. It's this paper. It's the tracing paper that I used.
Perfect.
And I also did it on brown paper too, because that will
Oh.
be for like the darker pieces of skin.
Like it. I like it.
So, but I think I'm going to do this one first because I can actually look at this and get my colors from it. And I'm going to keep it on that white paper so that we can see it. It's hard to see.
So if you find you really like to do this, then you can, when you're gel plating, you can gel plate different colors specifically so that you have the variety, or you have, like light colors on rice paper for skin and faces and things like that. And where'd Sarah go?
I'm here.
You're there. Okay. I see your mandala, but I don't see your hand. So,
Well, I was kind of like had it closer to me.
How are you? Have you decided how you're going to do the mandala? Are you going to do every little thing? Or are you going to make them some bigger pieces, or what?
I am going to make bigger pieces. I actually took a tracing, and I traced the dark lines are the ones I'm going to do.
Okay, good idea.
So yeah, but I'm going to have to combine them because I have to work outside in.
Really tiny.
Yeah, some of them are tiny.
Really tiny. And that's a mandala that Sarah really likes. So she went and made a copy of it before she did this. That way she still got one. And Sarah brought up a good point earlier that if you don't like the size, you can enlarge it or you can shrink it. Of course, the smaller they are, the harder they are to do. Right? Let's see. So who is collaging along with us today? Anybody? Anybody? Kathy might be. That she might not be in chat a lot if she's collaging. Of course, she might be working on something else too. I did not check my. There it is. Okay. Glennis, are you working along with us? That's why she's not in chat much either. Margie, you're chatting alone because everybody else is collaging. Margie, me. Glennis, what kind of image are you collaging? And maybe while we're collaging, we'll tell you a little bit more about June and July. I just can't even decide where to start. Let's see. As all of this is red and this is black, right? On the cardinal.
I found them.
This little spot around here, is that red or black? Let me think here. What were you looking for?
Anything that I've done in the last that I've made, I had put them away. And I couldn't remember where I put them.
Okay. So this is kind of red, orange. It's a lighter. This part is black. And red. It's a little lighter back there. Okay. What about these?
Oh, this will do great for the purple.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it is. I will always be chatting alone. You're not chatting alone. You're chatting with us. Glennis is doing an owl. Okay. Very cool. We'll always be chatting with you, Margie. I need to turn this fan on.
Except for I don't want to do the purple first because I want to do the leaves so they're in the background and you can put things over them.
Yeah.
But of course, I find the smallest thing first, which is not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you kind of want to look at your picture and say, what do I want to be under, what? Or what do I want to look like it's a little raised and I could build it up?
Oh, that's pinky.
Actually, that is kind of pinky, Tuscadero. Yeah.
And here's a little bit of pink, too.
Oh, look at that. You have pink.
I do have pink. But I got to find my green. I think this one might be green. So what this is something that I've smushed, and then I took the paper and folded it in half. And it was my roller papers.
Very cool.
So that's why they look sort of
start here. And I need some deeper red. I'm gonna as soon as I start doing this, I'm like, I need to gel print some more of, specific colors.
Yeah, well, or you just change the color. Where's my green? I know I did some green things.
So those of you watching on replay, go ahead and collage your image, post the picture in the Facebook group. Nope, Kathy's not doing it today. Okay, post your picture in the Facebook group, and the hashtag is #HPPJULCOL. That's for collage. That's the first three letters. So
did you say JUL or JUN?
What did I say, or what did I mean?
Yeah.
I said JUL. I mean JUN. Yes. Hashtag HPPJUNCOL. Hashtag June HPP June collage. Sorry. Thank you, Sarah, for catching that. So post those each week in the group. And then so we'll give you an idea of some of the kinds of things we're going to be doing. We're going to collage a landscape, like look out what's out your window or what's one of your favorite places to be, things like that. We're going to collage a focal point. This one's going to be a lot of fun, like an animal, a face, a head, a hand, a shape. And that one is going to be different than what you think. It's not, the point of it is not collaging the shape, the face, the head. It's what's with it. So that's going to be a super fun one. And then at the end, we're calling it whimsical. We're going to get to let your inner crazy collage person come out, right? The crazy collage girl.
Yep.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this. And then July, we have members of the admin team are going to share some of their things that they do really well. They're going to share them with you. That I'm looking forward to that one as well. Let's see. I don't think I want to go along his back. I want this dark red there. Okay. So how do you even get started with this? You just take something that you have and decide where in it is some color that I would like somewhere on this image. And I think I want some of this color right along his back. And I'll put this down, but then I may go put other things up over the top of it, so that not that much shows, because I may not want, but sometimes it's hard to just tear it into a teeny tiny thing. So it can be bigger, and then you can put stuff on top of it. Let's see.
So the other thing I'm doing is I am making it 3D by scrunching my paper and putting it on.
Yes.
So
flowers are wonderful for that,
because really you don't have to do much with a leaf if you scrunch it up, because then those look like your veins.
Yes, that's true.
And then if, like, I have some white pieces here, I can go through and put some dots of paint if I need to, just to make up the space that is missing.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you go to YouTube and search collage or collage artists, there's a lot of artists that are or consider themselves collage artists. That is their type of art, is collage. Yep. And they do a lot of different things. And a lot of them paint first, and then they collage over it. A lot of them collage and then do some painting on top of it. Whether it's with actual liquid paint or markers or and splattering, great idea. Like DM just said, it's fun to go look and see what people have and what they do when that is their style of art. Some of them had been doing it for quite a while and have a real nice variety. And you might go ahead.
One of my friends that I went to high school with is a collage
Oh,
artist.
cool. I was just going to say that what I noticed was all the different styles.
Yep.
You don't realize that there could be so many different styles in collage. It just seems like collage is collage. It's not.
And collage has been around just as, I mean, they were probably around before painting was, because you didn't have the paint, but you could collage with leaves. You could collage with, you know, stuff like that.
We all started collaging in kindergarten, right?
That's true.
So collage has expanded and taken on all kinds of new meaning and ideas. Also, some people tear their pieces to collage. Other people prefer to cut them. And either way is totally fine. And it might be the more intricate yarn, the more you have to cut it. And sometimes, like I tore this piece, but I got one little thing sticking out. And every time I try to tear it off, I end up tearing a bigger piece and have to go deeper. And so I just cut that one little tiny thing that was not where I wanted it to be. You could cut the piece you want from the tracing paper as a pattern to cut the piece you want. Oh, that's true. Good point, Margie. Hey, Julie. Julie, I'll enjoy watching you do this rather than doing it myself. Why not, Julie? Collage with us. Yeah, it is fun. It's I mean, you could call it paper piecing. If you've ever pieced together a quilt, it's kind of sort of the same on a paper, in a paper way, in a paper scale. Each has their own intricacies and their own difficulties. Very different, though. What I find interesting, even though I'm using all kinds of little pieces, like on the banana, we get it all together and it almost looks like one big piece of yellow, you know, like it's cut out, like the banana's cut out of one thing, and it's not. There's actually 3 different gel prints, and you know, there's like a darker orange yellow here, and this is a lighter, and you can see some of the circle marks on that one, and this is a completely different one up here. And then the one with green on it is a different one, and the one with black, that was yellow with black marks through a stencil. So I just tore off one tiny little section of that stencil and used that, you know, on here. So it looks like it's all one piece, but it's not. I could do a circle using one piece and then be done and call it sun. You know what, Margie? If that makes you happy and you're done, then go for it. That is funny. Have to be in the mood for this type of collaging. I didn't get good enough sleep, so I don't think my brain would cope. I didn't get enough sleep either, Julie. What was it about last night? I don't know.
I was up and down all night.
Oh, were you having storms last night too?
A little bit, but not as bad as they are claiming for today. We're expecting a really big one this afternoon. So
DM barely got power back before we started. We thought she might not even end up being here without power. Let's see. Sometimes cutting them or tearing them into the exact shape that I want gets very
well, so I am tearing the pieces, but I'm only fitting them into the shape. They're bigger than the shape.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I'm just fitting them in by crumpling them, and
right. And I'm not going to crumple the cardinal. I would crumple something else. I might crumple his wing out here, but I don't want to.
And
I don't
his
want to
tail.
crumple. Yeah, I don't want to crumple his body. Their tails are pretty smooth. I might crumple his headpiece, his headdress up here. That might be.
So the other thing about crumpling there is that if you crumpled it the right way, they would actually look like the feathers were going down. Like you have
Yes.
a long piece right there. If you make it like a zigzag, it would actually look like feathers laying on top of each other.
What do you mean zigzag?
Like
You mean like this, like folded?
this? Yeah.
Like that?
See how that would look like feathers? You do it right and then lay them down
right
like that in the area that it's going in, and then put it down. It would make it more of a
looking like feathers.
feather. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wish let's see, Sylvia was here, because in my Poe journal I did a crow. It was just a plain black crow, and then I took black papers, and that's what I did. I basically crumpled and put on top to make it look like real feathers. And she's always asking me, how did you do it? And I said, I can't tell her how I did it because
I can show you.
yeah, I sort of I was doing it and wasn't paying attention. I just was
Right,
crumpling
just
it as I was going, or cutting pieces as I was going.
Where is Sylvia's got some family things going on.
Yeah.
So she may not be able to get here today at all. It's understandable. She'll watch on the replay. Hi, Sylvia. Had a busy weekend too. Okay. And get one more old here. Yeah, so like you put these on, and then you know you need some like black veining, or you need some dark green veining on leaves or something. I see people going back with the marker or the paint and a paintbrush and painting those in. I like it when they get it with just the collage paper.
Okay, remember how I had to have the inside of the tomato and it looked like that? I had a piece of paper that had things on it. So now that looks like the inside of the tomato.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
Great.
It does look like the inside of the tomato. Wow. Look at Sarah's mandala coming along all perfect. I like that. That is very pretty.
The other thing with the mandala you could do is that you could do a piece of paper and put like stripes of colors, and then you cut out the pieces that need to go onto the sections of the mandala.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And then that way you're sort of using it, and you're not it's not cutting every tiny piece, because you're actually you're just cutting the big piece
them
down
together, and then
and putting them down first.
Okay, I like this. I like this tail.
And honestly, this is one of my favorite kind of arts.
I like collaging. It's just relaxing, mostly until you try to do some really intricate things like this. But yeah, it's the thing is, you can say I'm collaging, and there's so many different ways or types of collaging that
I want that deep dark color.
Leave that, and I'm going to cover it as I go up there.
Ah, there it is.
I do.
Woo-hoo!
All right. Might need some wet glue for this, but we'll try. Actually, can you zoom in on Sarah for a moment? Absolutely. Take a look at her mandala coming along. Looks really cool. I'm glad you made a copy of it, though, so you could do it again. Things like that, I can never decide what colors to use. So if you make copies, you can do it in this color palette, then do that color palette.
Yep.
Looks kind of weird, huh?
Nope, not at all. All right, let's get cardinal tail.
Okay.
I used wet glue for this one because I don't think having that all folded and crumpled, I don't think that the glue stick would hold that as well as is needed.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because you sort of got to get the glue to
wherever
up underneath the
everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I just gave him a crumpled tail, kind of folded it accordion style just to make it stand up. Oh, it's hard to see that he's standing up, but that's okay. It's okay. It's working.
I could do a yellow pink rose.
Ooh, a yellow pink. Oh yeah, I actually have some that are yellow
with
and
this
pink.
one.
That's
I like
pretty.
yellow roses better than pink roses.
Do you?
Because then you can sing the Yellow Rose of Texas.
That's true.
Yellow Rose, Texas. Oh, and you know what I could have done? I could have used these as the leaves.
Oh yeah.
Dang it all.
Have to do it again.
True.
Do over after you finish this one.
I actually like what I've done so far. So,
Yep.
But those would have made it a lot easier. Oh, there's some nice green. Oh, well. Back when I was looking for green.
Yep, you always find it after the fact. How do you store your gel prints?
In a big pile, all together.
Okay.
I make sure that they're dry all the way.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, how do you store your gel prints?
I put them all together and put them up on my shelf where there's that thing I got at that holds the things. I don't know what they're called.
The thing that holds the things.
The creative thing that you gave me. It was it holds the plates and cutting dies for the creative memories.
Oh
my gosh, I'm really having brain damage. I cannot think of.
It's a flat thing that has like 6 dividers in it, and I set it up on my desk at the retreat.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay,
yeah, that.
Okay.
So it's in one of the slots for that.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I usually just have all mine together as well. And so doing collage, it made me start to think, should I start to divide them in kind of color groupings?
No.
Color groupings? What a pain that would be.
That's too intact. Just let me put them all in together and I can go through them.
Yeah.
Pull them out as I need them. Too much.
As I was pulling them out for today, I did separate them into 2 piles. 1, tear up, use for collage, use for whatever. And 2, don't want to tear this up, want to leave it whole. Because I will either want to use it as a journal page or, something, but I want to leave it whole. So you don't have to tear up all of your gel prints. You might really like something that you have and maybe even want to scan it in so you can use it multiple times. Another thing that I would like to address is jelly print versus gel print. I hear people all the time saying, I want to jelly print or let's jelly print or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same as Q-tips and cotton swabs.
But kind of, sort of. Jelly Gelli is a brand. It's a company. They make the jelly plate. The term that encompasses every brand, all of it, you know, for what you're doing is just gel, G-E-L. It's a gel plate. Doesn't determine what brand. If you say, I have a jelly plate, then I know you have a plate from Jelly Arts. Right. But that may not be so, because people say, I have a jelly plate, but really they have a, you know, Dina Wakley or a, I forgot even any of the other brands are. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, so just be aware that jelly is a brand. Gel plate is the general term for doing it. And gel print, jelly print would be a print off of a jelly plate, which is again brand specific. Gel print is any or all. So when you're talking universally, remember that it's gel print, gel plate. Like saying Kleenex when you use puffs, right? Kleenex is the brand, and everybody's gotten used to saying, you know, I need a Kleenex. Well, and it's a tissue, but yeah. Since this is newer and not completely ingrained in everybody, I thought I would throw that out there. We can correct it before it becomes 50 years old and stuck, right? All right, let's see here. Too many L's. Gel press. Oh, yeah, gel press is another brand. Yep. So Jelly Arts, gel press. Dina Wakley has one. That's the Ranger one. There are even other brands that have gel plates as well. And I'm seeing more all the time that they might even just call them mono printing plates. They don't even all call them gel plates, but it's all mono printing. So I try to be careful, saying the right thing. So if somebody's listening and they take it literally, they are getting the actual correct information.
Yep.
Look how fast Sarah's working. My goodness. You knew exactly what you wanted to do with that mandala, huh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And that's funny too, because if it's not a really brain involved activity and it's relaxing, I find myself going slowly because I'm just relaxing.
Yeah.
So if it needs to be for a certain project, then I need to think that so that I can hurry it along. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and take my time. I have more of a problem with people calling a collage a masterboard and then Margie, I have to agree with you. I agree with you. I have 2 Dina Wakeleys, 4 gel press, all different sizes except 2 are 8x10. Yes, I think I have at least 3 different brands of gel plates. And at this point, I cannot tell you which is which brand.
Yeah.
because they're out of their packaging and they're virtually all the same. But I agree, Margie. Are you hinting that we need to address the difference between a collage and a masterboard again? Since ooh, that would make a good wing because it's nice and dark. I want something really dark red for the wing. Wing. So collage or masterboard? Which is it?
Masterboard you keep forever and ever just as it is, and you photocopy it every single time you want it.
Yep. And a collage?
A collage is something that is, well, you can do the same thing with a collage, but a collage is a full piece of artwork.
And a collage you might use as a cover. You might cut it up and use it for this. You
Right.
might use it as a page in a book, or cut it into tags or ATCs. It wouldn't do any good. I think most people who call it all masterboard won't listen anyway. That is probably the truth, Margie. Oh, so yeah, it goes back to when we, years ago when you worked in an office and you had to make Xerox copies. Again, whole nother thing. It's not, Xerox was the brand.
Mhm.
So unless you actually had the Xerox copy machine, but you had a master in the drawer. You had a print of something that had master on the top or on the file, and you didn't use that one. That was the master. Every time you ran out, you would get the master and you'd make more copies, right?
Mhm.
That's the master. The master never gets used. It is the one that all the other copies come from. So that is what a master board is. A master board is just basically something that you like so much that you don't want to use it or tear it up or any of the gens, like not again. You want to be able to use it over and over again. So you scan it in, or you make a copy, and you make many copies, or you scan it in so you can print it out every time you want to use it. It is a master copy, master board, all the same. A collage, you put together the collage, and then when it's done, you might turn it over, mark it, and cut it into tags or ATCs or whatever. Use it.
So I also think that there's a difference in paper art collage and an artist's collage, which is hard to explain, and I may have used the wrong words, but what we're doing now, you probably would not turn over and cut into pieces.
No.
This is creating a piece of artwork with
Correct.
the collage method.
Okay, yes. So to differentiate what the difference in a collaged page, and not the collage art. Yes, but just you take a piece of paper and you put paper down on it and you collage the entire piece of paper. That's what I'm talking about, the difference between the collage and the master board. This type of collage, like Jim said, is a whole nother section or definition or a whole nother vein of collage. This is collage art. Yes, absolutely. So sometimes people sit down with the intention of making a master board. They have in mind what they want to make, and they're going to do it, and then they know they want to keep it, make copies. That's what they sit down to do. Sometimes you sit down to make just collage, and when you finish, you're like, wow, I really, really like this. So because you said, well, I'm not going to sit down, and you didn't say I'm going to sit down and make a master board, can that collage become a master board? Yes, it can. I never sit down with the intent of making a master board. That puts way too much pressure on me. And I never know until it's done if I'm going to like it enough to be a master board or not. So every collaged paper, just a piece of paper fully collaged. I'm sorry, let me back up. Every master board is a collage. Every master board is just a piece of paper that is collaged. But every piece of paper that is collaged is not a master board. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Every master board is a collage, but every collage is not a master board. So I never know until I'm done. When I'm done with it, I look at it and say, it's okay, but it'll be better in small pieces as tags. It'll look great as tags, but I don't love it as a whole. That's a collage, and it's going to get cut up or, used in other ways. If I finish it and I say, wow, I had no idea where that was going, but I like where it went, and I would like to make copies and use this over and over again, Now it's a master board because I want to keep a master of it. And those people who really need to know are not even here. So hopefully anybody who's watching on replay that had questions, because it took me a long time to understand the difference between a master board and a collage. It really did, because the way people were speaking about them and, the way they threw the terms around, I'm like, well, they're calling this a collage and they're calling it a master board, and it's the same thing. So I really, it took me a long time to understand what the difference is. And once I figured it out, and so I can totally understand the confusion, for people. And if you're watching the same people all the time that are talking about it and they use them interchangeably, that's the hard part, is when somebody keeps using the two terms interchangeably, then there's no difference. And maybe some people think there is no difference. Glennis says, yes, there's a test at the end and a 500-word essay. Right. Julie, are you serious that the light bulb just turned on and you just understood the difference? That's how it was for me. When it finally came together, I'm like, I got it. The master that I put in the drawer and I don't use that one, that's the master board. That one I want to reuse, so I need a master. The one that is intolerable that I'm not going to keep like that, that's a collage. Julie said the light bulb turned on, and I just wanted to make sure. Are you just playing, or did it really? Because I remember when it did for me, and I'm like, oh, finally understand the difference.
Yeah.
And it's hard to ask somebody when people keep using them in different ways, and you're like, well, how do I know what they're telling me is right? If the light bulb just went on for Julie, then it was worth going over it all over again. Right, Margie? Yes.
I agree.
Yes, she says. Awesome. I am so glad. Then it was worth it. Julie, I've always been confused, probably because they call their substrates a masterboard. Right? That's the thing, Julie. How can you not be confused when the person who's showing and speaking about it is obviously confused? They don't know that they're confused. They're trying to use the language that others are using, but don't really know the definition of it. So it's hard. So you had a right to be confused. But no more. We have unconfused Julie.
Yay! We reached somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and then put these on.
Sometimes you have to hear things 3, 4, 7 times before it's finally makes sense to you. And
exactly.
I get that too. That's a human thing, not just you as a person. That's all of us. All right, let's see here.
Okay.
It is fun looking at all the colors, on the papers that we gel plated or gel printed, and choosing what's going to go on here. It's fun watching the image come together. I like the idea of the flowers and doing it right onto the image, so the colors that it's using are already there for you to just to follow, really not have to think about the colors. I like the idea of the mandala, where you could cut them even. They're all straight lines, and I'm out with this entire design because I love mandalas. All right, let's see. tried to tell a person who I will not name the difference, and she totally told me I was wrong.
I've had that happen to me too.
Oh, that's funny. And you say, well, then I'm not going to try to educate you.
Mm-hmm.
There's masterboard, substrate, collage, and one other that I can't think of. Okay, so Julie, now you, Frankenpaper. Okay, now you know the difference in masterboard and the collage page, a collage board, right? Masterboard and collage board. That's what's really gets people confused all the time. Substrate.
Frankenpaper. Oh,
they all have a substrate.
yeah.
Anything that you do anything on has a substrate. All substrate is whatever it is you're working on. This piece of paper is my substrate today, and I'm doing my collage on this paper, on this substrate. If I make a tag and I cut the tag out of this, and now I'm going to do some mixed media on it, this is my substrate. Whatever you do something on, whatever the very base, the very bottom layer, the base that you build on, that's the substrate. So it's not anything that you add on. It is what you start with. In order to do anything, you have to have something to start with. Maybe I start with a piece of music paper. You can do whatever you want to it. The music paper is the substrate. It is the very first thing you grab to work on.
It's the
Does that
base.
make sense? Yes, the base of everything. In fact, you have to do the substrate. You have to have a substrate first before you can create anything, because you're doing that on the substrate. Okay, does that make perfect sense, Julie? We're gonna clear all these up for Julie today. I love it.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Why is it Monday? Everybody tries to get a hold of me.
Of course. The one day that
They
you're
weren't able to get a hold of you all weekend.
No, they always call on Monday because that's when people start thinking about things. But Monday's the day we're always in Monday Jumpstart. Okay,
Right.
So now you've got the difference in masterboard and collage board, and you know what a substrate is. In fact, both a masterboard and a collage board have a substrate, right? The substrate is the bottom. So here's an ugly collage, not a masterboard, not something I want to keep, but it would be great because the colors are great. It would be great cut up and used like as tag bases. So this large piece of paper that I collaged on was my substrate. Okay, and now it is just a collage board. Then if I cut this up into tags and I take one of those to work on, that is now my substrate because it's all one piece, and that is now my base to whatever I'm going to do. That becomes the substrate. So I thought I had those others here. There is really one moment, please. Monkey. Oh, I know where they are because I organized them. They're right here in their box that I separated them all into.
Yes, Franken
Okay, so Frankenpaper
is
go ahead.
okay. Frankenpaper is just using multiple extra things you have to make one other piece of paper.
Yeah, which also could be called a collage.
Collage.
Right.
It's
So-
just somebody made another term for it, like
Yeah,
slow stitch.
right. So if you look at this is a collage of papers, right? But this would be one that they would call Frankenpaper.
Right.
And partly
A lot of times it's usually sewn too.
I think it was Nick that came up with that originally said Frankenpaper. And that's because when you collage these pieces down, they aren't laying on top of each other like a lot of our collages are. They're laid beside each other, you know, just kind of up against each other. And then she sew them. I mean, I've been doing this for years, but never even thought of Franken paper. And then when you sew them, it kind of looks like Frankenstein stitches on it. So she called it Franken paper. So it's collaged, but when it's, you know, kind of just formed together, laid side by side, and then stitched. And I use all different kinds of stitches. Sometimes I lay them diagonally and I stitch down each one. And this one I did different stitches down each one. Sometimes they're laid, you know, every which way.
I think sometimes you have to use the substrate, Jen. You have to glue them together. You have to be able to, even if it's a thin piece of tissue paper. I would never try to put two pieces. Well, yours does.
No, you have to have a substrate of some kind. Just copy paper is typically what I do it on, because most of these are cardstock. Even if they're not, it does, you need something as your substrate, but I'll just use like plain old copy paper. You could probably use tissue paper. It's not going to hold up as well. And if you have nothing in there, you're going to have so much flexibility between where it's sewn, because they don't overlap, that it's going to tear apart real easily. A lot of times for me, it's just all the leftovers, the offcuts from a project. So they all came from the same paper pack, or they're all coordinating colors. Here's some that have not yet been sewn. And these I actually did on craft. So I did these.
I guess if you were overlapping each one.
If you're overlapping each one, then yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have to have a substrate, but you're creating a substrate. But it is difficult to do without a substrate of some kind. But you could use tissue paper. It could be super, super thin. But if you're overlapping them, yeah, you're still making Franken paper, but you're also collaging. You know, it's Franken paper and collage are, okay, let's say this. Franken paper is a subdivision of collage. Collage would be the parent umbrella. Your umbrella is collage. Under that umbrella, you might collage a masterboard. Under that umbrella, you might collage a Franken paper. That makes sense? Yeah, quilling is another thing. Yeah, quilling is a whole nother style of doing your paper, and that's twisting it. And
that could be both. I mean, that could be.
It could be it's kind of. Well, it's not necessarily paper piecing. It's embellishing. It's decorating is what it is. Quilting. Yes, paper quilting. See, so that Franken paper you could also call paper quilting. Yeah, that's what we called it in years past. But again, just like she said, hand sewing, hand stitching versus slow stitching. Somebody tries to come up with a new name so that it's got a new hook and people will watch because they think it's something new and different. That is really cool, DM. It does look really cool.
I'm going to wait for it to dry to do any penning because it's still, I don't want my pens to get ruined by the glue.
Yeah.
But I did put little tiny beads in the center because I know on African violets, they look like that. They look like little beads. I didn't have bright yellow, but they're it's just supposed to be the thought of it. So, and once I can make a circle on the tomato, it will be, that will stand out as a tomato.
That's cool.
But putting these two things together, you go, oh yeah.
And
it's the same. It's the same colors.
Oh yeah.
Where they're supposed to be. Close enough. Pink.
Yeah, looks great. Are you going to do that face while
yes, I am.
Dries? Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Sarah, your mandala is looking amazing.
Thank you.
My poor cardinal is sitting here waiting. I keep using my hands to talk, and Not working. That's okay. It's supposed to be a fun, relaxing activity, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want a really, really dark red. Dark. That's okay. I'm going to end up having to do some penning over it. Also, let's see here. Do. How about I'm gonna make his wing 3D. That will be cool. What do you do with that? Margie says, and I think that is also why a lot of people call a collage a masterboard. They have to have a modern special name. Exactly. That's exactly how masterboard came about. I'm like, why can't we just have a collage that you decide you like and you want to keep it and make copies of it? Why do we have to term it a masterboard? Because now nobody knows what you're talking about and everybody's confused. See there? Yeah. Yep. Everybody wants to come up with something new and be the one that, had a new idea. And really, it's not a new idea. It's just a new name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you want us to call you a new name? Well, then don't call hand stitching a new name. No, I'm not bitter about slow stitching. I just think it's so funny, though.
That's true. Absolutely nothing is new.
Yeah. Guaranteed. None of us invented. Sometimes I have thought of woke up in the middle of the night or woke up in the morning and had this great idea. Like, oh, this would be so cool. I'm going to go try it. And then I go look and I find other people doing it all over the place. And I thought I came up with something. Well, no. And even if I don't see anybody really doing it, if I look far enough, I'll see people did it years ago. It is not new. But, everything that's old is new again. That's kind of what that is. It's new to you, it's new to me, but it's not new to the world. Okay, let's see here. Eye roll moments. Years ago, when I got Take 10 magazines, they put a feather in called, they put a feature in called a master board many years ago. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. So it isn't even a new term, something they used years ago in a magazine. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, I'm not bitter. I just refuse to call it slow stitching.
Exactly.
I do. I refuse to call something slow stitching that I was doing when I was 5 years old because it's not new. And that is so somebody will read it and go, slow stitching? What is that? I better watch. And all of a sudden, I watch this up. Oh. Next thing you know, they're going to call writing, with hand lettering and things like that. And then that's understandable. But they'll come up with a new term for writing. Oh, my goodness. I am going to, what would they call that?
Well, they could do a throwback and start calling it actual penmanship.
Oh,
and people would think that it was something new.
That's new.
Because we haven't heard that term in a long time.
That is true.
That's very true.
That is very true. Look at that penmanship. What's penmanship? I better watch that. So there was penmanship when we were kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cantha stitch is repair and stuff like that. Yeah. Embroidery is very, yeah. Everything's got a different name when you start going.
But those are things that have been in those industries or that industry for many, many years. They've always called, so you can tell the difference between. And even in hand stitching, there's so many different kinds of stitches.
Right.
But it's not slow stitching. So it's funny. Slow stitching is so meditative and relaxing. Just sit down and slow stitch. Some of us who had to do it for real.
Yeah.
Like, no, that is not relaxing. Don't sit down and relax and do that. That was a chore we had to do. Yep. That's what's funny.
Vintage style writing. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Get this exactly how I want it. I should just put real feathers on him, but they won't be red. But that, oh, I could paint him red. Ooh, I could do the whole bird with real feathers.
Yep. But that wouldn't be collage because collage is with paper.
Is it? Can you collage?
Well, then it becomes a mixed media project.
No, that's true. That is true.
Which I don't think the wording mixed media came about recently either. I think it was just
kind of
doing things with junk.
Reintroduce. Yeah. Reintroduced to this generation of artists.
Yeah. Because technically, yeah, it sort of is collaging. If you really want to.
Sure.
It's just collaging with multiple items.
On a canvas with many things.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not new. Okay. Let's see. I need one more small piece. I sewed baby clothes by hand when I was expecting. Yep. Sonia on clothes by hand. Yep. Because they're not being taught at school much about handwriting like we were. Yeah. Technically, it is slower than using a machine. Yes, but it was always just called hand stitching, hand sewing, sewing by hand, not slow stitching. Some of us got pretty darn fast at it because we had to.
Right. If somebody needed a button sewn on before they went to school.
Right? You got to do that fast. I slow stitched, I don't know how many baby quilts as a teenager. We didn't have any long arm quilters. Did it all by hand, put it up on the quilt stand and
Taking up a hen by hand. Yep.
but it wasn't, but we got pretty fast at it. As you kind of had, yeah, hems were always by hand. Yeah, back in that day, I wouldn't even have thought of doing a hem with a machine because you don't want to see the hem. But
It
now,
would depend on what kind of paper, what kind of fabric it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Because jeans, you sort of see the hem, so you have to.
That's true. I never had to hem a pair of jeans.
I usually just cut them off.
I did have to take the hem out of jeans to make them longer. Oh, I have never had to hem up a pair of pants to make them shorter to make them fit.
Invisible jean stitch, yes. There is an invisible jean
Yes.
stitch.
I've hemmed pants because I made my own pants.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had to make any shorter. Oh, my problem was always finding them long enough. And, you know, for the most part, that's one of the reasons I made my own, so I could make them long enough. All right. I'm getting a fancy dancy wing. Okay. Go in there. Go in there and stay. Come and stay for a while. Is that how that song? Okay. Okay, I need some more underneath him to hide the white paper. Oh, I agree, Jen. I would love to have a long arm. I don't have anywhere to put it unless I got rid of the shop downstairs. I could put it where the shop is, but yeah, wouldn't a long arm quilter be amazing? We'd be having a lot more quilting lives.
I was just going to say, I think it wouldn't be happy paper people anymore if you had a long arm.
Couldn't we quilt a gigantic quilt of paper?
That would be interesting.
It would be, wouldn't it?
You'd have to make sure it didn't get rained on.
Right.
It'd probably be warm enough.
Yeah. Well, you can still put the batting in and a backing. No, Sarah's going to help me learn how to do free motion quilting. I hope.
I could try.
I don't think it's your trying that will be the problem, Sarah. But I am going to try to learn. Let's see. One point every time we hear the new name used from someone we don't know, right? I always have to take up pant hems and look for extra length in my shirts and tops. My friend who made my wedding dress said my torso is almost a foot longer than any she has made for anyone. Wow. Happy crafty people. There you go. Yeah, I have trouble with a slightly longer torso than most. Makes it hard to wear some clothes. Yep. I have trouble with slightly longer legs than the norm. And so all the pants are like 2 inches, just 2 inches too short. If floods were always a thing, you know, I'd have been perfect. But floods were horrible when I was a kid. You have floods.
That's when you add
there. Did you grow up in Salt Lake?
No, I did not.
Where did you get floods?
Oh, flood pants.
Flood the pants. Flood pants. Do you know what flood pants are, Sarah?
Yeah, I know what flood pants are.
Oh. Yeah. So my pants were always floods because I had long legs and the pants were never long enough.
Yeah.
And having flood pants was not cool back then. Now you can wear anything, you know, and it's okay. It's some kind of style. But that wasn't always the case.
No.
And no, people still get picked on from what they're wearing.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's sad because, I mean, the diversity and the acceptance and, you know, in every other way, why do we have to even care what people are wearing? As long as they're covered. Anything or nothing, even, Margie. As long as they're covered in public, I don't really care what they're wearing. Although
she's going to look like a zombie because I have so many different layers to her skin.
When we lived in Arizona, we built a custom home outside of the city, outside of Phoenix, in kind of a rural type town. There was just down the road from us, you'd turn off the road and go back in behind all the trees, and there was a nudist colony.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people didn't even know it was there. It's pretty funny. Pretty interesting.
That's one thing. They do, nudist colonies and nudist beaches are usually pretty far off from the usual,
Yeah.
you know, places that you would see people. They're not,
Right.
not that I
Not
live
usually
in.
a quarter of a mile down the road from my house. Not normally, but they were just right down the road. But they weren't right on the road. Like you had to turn onto the driveway, and the driveway went way back. So it was behind the trees. So when you drove down the road, you couldn't just look over there and see anything. It was set back into the wooded area. So if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't know it was there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't know what it was called, when there was only a very small sign that said Shangri-La.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know what Shangri-La was.
That seems a very common name for those kind of communities.
Oh, really? And maybe that's why, so people will know, those who are familiar with them and looking for them. All right, let's see. I kind of
Not that I know personally. I just have read a lot of books.
Uh-huh.
God, no. Nobody
Now
wants
we
to
want
see
to
me
ask
like that.
I've seen many nudist colonies. They are also called community cats. That's hilarious. Is that where the cat houses came from? All right, I'm getting to his head. I need to do his head. I'm gonna need some little pointy, some really dark red ones. I might want to cut some of these. Okay.
Woo!
Yeah.
She got some really big eyebrows. Groucho Marx eyebrows.
Wow. That's awesome. See if that will work. Yeah, but we don't necessarily want him to have gold tips. He could have little gold tips up on his spike on his head. Why not? right.
Wow, that is way off. Her lips would look like she's had really bad surgery.
Those creep up from there, not enough room in the mess. Yeah, Jen, I had that issue too. All right, let's see. There's some points for his head, for his little spiky spikes. Okay, I'm going to put this one down. I need to do a little bit of. Okay. So those of you who saw the next workshop we're doing, the next weekend workshop, that gorgeous album from 49 and Markets Academia, that sold out in a day. However, I've ordered supplies for one more kit because we have one person that won't be able to be there, but it has really good instructions with it that they can do. So we have one spot that would be open for somebody to actually be there that day. So if there's somebody who did not get in or knows somebody who wants to jump in on that workshop and didn't get in, there is one spot available. I'm excited about that one. That's such a cool app.
I got my kit today for it.
Oh, sweet.
You got your what?
She got her
My
kit.
kit.
Oh,
Have you gotten your mail yet, Sarah?
yeah, I've gotten my mail today. I haven't gotten it.
So yeah, all the kits went out. Was it Saturday? Yeah, it was sold out in a day. So I printed all the labels and they all went out on Saturday afternoon while Doug was here to take them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doug.
I know. I thought the sooner they go out, then we can have our prep call. And the longer prep time you have, the more you can do it the way you want it. So as soon as we know. So yeah, our prep call will be this week. Everybody should have it by then.
And what's the date of the workshop again?
It is June 29th, Saturday, June 29th.
Okay.
At noon your time.
Okay.
Yeah, put it on your calendar, Sarah.
I will.
Not the best.
And here's a little spoiler. At that workshop, I'm going to show those at the workshop the next workshop project, which will be in August. But I'm going to show it to those who are at that workshop and give them first option. And I'm really excited about the August one too. I just cannot get over the colors. I love the colors.
Those are really pretty.
I showed it to admin and they're with me. Yeah, it's so pretty. Let's see here. I'm trying to piece this little spiky part on the top of his head. Get it just how I want it. Now, I've seen people do really large pictures like this, or whole, entire scenes. And sometimes they have them up on an easel because they're, really large. And sometimes they work on them for weeks and months, looking for just the right colors to put here or there. Or then having to go gel plate or gel print and make something the right colors. I don't know if I'd have the patience to work on it that long. I might. I don't know. I'd have to see.
I think it would depend on what I was doing.
Yeah. And I know for sure that that wouldn't be the only thing I had going, And so as long as I have multiple projects going, when I'm in the mood, I can do that. And when I'm not in the mood, I can do something else.
I made a pig nose.
A pig nose?
Yeah, she's got a pig nose.
Awesome. Did I tell you about the picture in kindergarten? With the pig?
No.
When I was in kindergarten for first grade, I don't remember. The teacher said, "There's a piece of paper, crayons, make a self-portrait. Draw a picture of yourself." Well, the only way I knew how to do a nose was a pig nose, a round circle with 2 dots or 2 holes. So I made myself with this pig nose. Of course, my parents kept the picture.
Of course.
And of course, everybody laughed at it, but I made a nose. It's the only way I knew how. I should have said, well, that's what I see when I look at your faces. I just made it like I see it. Oh, yeah, that works. That works. Nice. Okay.
That doesn't work.
Oh, just as I say that works, you say that doesn't work. I'm sorry. Ooh, that is way too much. You could do one of these, get the right size and make it really cool. Even make it 3D and then use it on the cover of a book. Owls have too many feathers. Yes, they do.
Don't have to do every single feather.
Why I said I would trace the outer part of that owl and I wouldn't do every single feather.
Just have to make an illusion of every single feather.
Exactly. Crumpled is perfect for that.
Okay, hair.
I ordered me some black gel pens and some gold gel pens. I was thinking after all the ones you went through doing Klimt. I thought, yeah, I need to get a little stash of gold gel pens. Let's see. Oh, Julie, I can see that you have a long torso. Yep.
Oh, God, that's awful.
Okay, here's Glynis's owl. Oh, very good, Glynis.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Where
right.
is it?
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
That's Glennis's owl that she just did. That's awesome. Yeah, you don't have to do every feather. You can also draw some feathers in, or like how you did over here and here, the edge is not a straight edge. There's little bits coming out of it. It gives the illusion that they're feathers sticking out, which is perfect. Yeah, great job on the owl. So don't forget to post them in the group with the hashtag HPPJUNCOL. All right. Yeah, these little feathers on top of his head are being a little fiddly. But I'm gonna make them work. Yep, that is gorgeous, Glennis. See, everybody likes it. Yeah, sometimes it is easier to cut than tear, especially when you have really fine lines, tiny areas. There we go. That'll work. That'll work. And, oh, which direction was it? And tweezers are my friend. All righty. That piece might be perfect. Okay. This is kind of a long process, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. If you're taking it seriously.
Yeah. But it is pretty just chill, relaxing. That I like. I mean, I could put on a series that I want to binge watch and then just sit and do this for hours.
Yep.
Margie, my attention span is why I can't do that. That I understand. And that's why I said I need to have multiple projects going on, because I might be good for a little while and then all of a sudden I'm done. I have to do something else. I don't know. Sometimes a long attention span, and sometimes it's not very long. go. That's what we were looking for. Perfect fit. Do want to follow the shape of his head because that's what makes him a cardinal.
Too intricate for Julie's current mood.
Yep. It's all about the mood. Ooh, I like her. She's coming along nice. Ooh, Sarah, look at that mandala. Wow.
Oh, very pretty, Sarah.
Yeah. Check that out. Wow, look at that. Ooh, have you not glued them all down, or did you?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm purposely leaving them not glued down so I can move them.
Oh, I love the way they come up like they're petals on a flower. That's cool. And that's just because you didn't glue them down yet, but that'd be a whole nother way you could do it. A mandala flower, and you could actually roll the edges a bit so that they stick up.
Sarah's 3D mandala.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool looking. All right, let's see here. We'll want some orangey red. We got that. Want some orangey red for his beak. Like this. Like this perfectly. Okay. We're all concentrating so hard.
Yeah, we're not talking.
Yeah. No, I'm focusing on this little intricate part. I'm trying to make it just the way I want. And not talking. Do it that way. Interesting. Jen, I love how y'all came up with such unique items and they all look so wonderful. Glennis, you too. You know, on Facebook where it keeps asking, do you want to see more posts like this? I really don't like it when they ask that on my post. On your post, so meaning they would ask others, or just ask you in general about the posts. Just the tip here. Yeah, all of ours are so very different. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to look and see what everybody else does if just the three of us do something totally different.
Right.
You know, what else is going to be shown?
Exactly. Yeah, who knows what Jen will do. I grabbed a banana last night. I thought this will be quick and easy, just to have a sample to show what we're doing.
Nope.
None of them are super quick. I mean, it could be quicker, but I really wanted to get some of the coloring. Thought a banana could be really boring and, you know, basic. So I really want to get some of the coloring in. So I took time to do that. So no, it wasn't exactly quick. All right, let's see. Too much gold there. It's kind of a little bit orange. Yeah, like hunting for the right tiny scrap. Just blur, you know. I'd rather be using colored pencils than just color it. Yeah, I enjoy doing that too. Or different days, different things, different moods. That's, I guess it is, different moods. Okay. Let's see. That's the right color scrap. Be it right there.
Dudes.
People outside?
Yeah, we have new people in our neighborhood. They have kids, and I think school must be out for them because the kids have been in the cul-de-sac like constantly, and the dogs aren't used to it, so they decide they're going to bark at them.
Jeez. It's frustrating for you.
Yeah. But it's nice to hear kids again, and you know, there aren't any more kids in our neighborhood, so it's brand new to have.
Oh, that's cool. To have some.
The dogs have got to get used to them.
Trick-or-treaters this year.
Yeah.
Possibly. I'll probably just bring baskets over to each one of them for Halloween. That's usually what I've been doing for neighbors' kids if they have them.
So you don't have to keep getting up and answering the door. I'll just bring treats.
Yeah.
Okay. Think we got the rest of his beak. I got one spot where I scraped the paper a little bit and kind of pulled off the red. And it's right at the very tip. So I do need a red pencil just to give that a little dot of red. Oops, that was way too much. Okay, so
There.
really have to applaud people who do this well, though, right?
Yeah. And that they actually make money off of it.
Right. Well, there's one person I watched, and that's what she does is she collages little scenes,
Yep.
and she does small ones. You know,
Mhm.
and on a wall in her house, she had like a row of. She had 4 columns. So there's like 4 pictures in a row, and then they were columns all the way from the floor to the ceiling of all these ones that she had done. Just these small, little collage scenes. I'm like, holy cow. I can't do that many. I would get tired of it. Like I'll do this and then I'll be good for the week. I won't want to do probably another one until Monday when we do a different style.
Mm-hmm.
I think. We'll find out for sure. But I think that's what I think. All right, let's get some dark red. Get the white edges off. I hope this glue stick holds.
Andy Warhol did a lot. He painted, but he did a lot of stuff exactly like what I'm doing here, where he'd make collages like this.
What do you mean, like what you're doing? I haven't been watching. What are you doing?
Just like making a face out of all different colors.
Right. Mm-hmm. Margie meant us, applauding us. Oh, Margie. Me doing one of these today is not, anything to applaud. Thank you, Julie. It is fun. It is fiddly. It is time consuming. I will say that. It is enjoyable. And, depending what your purpose is, if your purpose is to sit down and relax and enjoy it, then yeah, it's great for that. I couldn't do it all the time because there's so many other things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That I'd be getting too itchy. Be like, this is taking.
But to have it as a fun project to learn a new thing, it's amazing because most people don't think this way.
Yes.
Most people hear collage and do it the way that most
on a piece of paper. Just laying it out on a piece of paper, filling the whole page.
Yep. Well, that didn't work.
So let's see.
Oops. I may have just jostled my camera. I'm sorry if I did. Made anybody dizzy.
I wasn't looking, so I didn't see.
I'm fine. Just trying to figure out what I'm doing here.
And then somebody says, you're doing whatever you want. Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out what I want. No rules, just right. Who's that? Is that Chili's? No.
I can't remember. Just made me laugh.
No rules, just right. Let's see. These three little feathers down here need to show like little feathers. Okay, but I think they need to go on top of that black. It'll be right there. So let's see. I heard when you see a cardinal that someone you love is visiting from heaven. Ah,
That's what I've heard too.
well, Margie, you're seeing a cardinal almost. I will finish it quickly before we go. So then that's your cardinal that you saw. Yes. What were you thinking, DM?
Oh, I just realized that I should probably, if it's close to being done, I should probably do the, you know what? I think I'm going to use a red one so it doesn't show out too much. Or something like it. I should probably finish the, and that's not showing up.
The fruit.
Yeah. So you can see. Pulling out my.
Yeah, because we'd love to see that. If it's dry. Okay. Okay, now where are those three teeny tiny pieces over here that are no idea what order. Okay, the black needs to go on first. Okay, he just needs that black part on his head. I need to put this on, but I need to put my hand on here, so I'm waiting. Yep. My cardinal is channeling Getty. I love that. Let's see, do I have anything blacker? I could color that in with black marker, but that's not the point of collaging.
Shoot, my beads are going all over the place.
Uh-oh.
Because they weren't dry.
Looking for something solid black. I don't know if I have. Oh, I could tear up the roses. Got little black pieces. Let's start with this. Yeah, it is 2 o'clock, so we'll get us to a point where we want to see what you're doing there, DM. Sarah's almost finished. Of course, she may not have glued it down, huh, Sarah?
No, I'm gluing it down now.
Wow. All right, let's see what we've got here. So I should use tweezers. It's hard to hold these little fiddly bits in your fingers.
That one didn't quite work right.
Had you already glued it down, or could you pick it up and move it? Okay. We are hurrying, trying to finish these before we sign off. Oh, shoot. I think oh no, there they are. I keep brushing away all those little, tiny little scraps, and I'm afraid I'm brushing away my 3 tiny red feathers that need to go right there. I think I still got them. The pressure of trying to hurry and finish it, huh?
Pressure.
Okay. Can't do that. All right. Let's get this on here. There's one. What color is a cardinal's eye?
Black.
White. Excuse me. Black. Now we need the black. Okay. All right. Daylight is supposed to because it's getting colder. Queen under pressure. Yep. Earworm. I'd love to find a Fairy Wren scrapbook paper set. Fairy Wren. I don't know what a Fairy Wren is.
Is that a bird?
Sounds like it. Right. Just get a picture of a wren and put fairy wings on it. I like Margie's idea. All right, need some more black. Tiny piece like this. Go right there. All right. Need more black. Oh, here's some black right here. Okay. It's actually the right curve. Perfectly right curve. So here. And a little off this side. Okay. Got 3 little feathers together there. All right, need some black right down here. That's perfect. The whole piece will go right there.
Oh, sugar. That's my pen, not my.
Yeah, we all talk to ourselves when you're singing, I'm talking. Only Sarah's the sane one. Sarah's the only sane one. Just either that or she muted herself so we couldn't hear
Yeah.
No, I'm not muted.
talking and singing. All right. Just about got that. Now, if you've got it to a point where you want to show, let me know. I'll make you full screen.
Not quite.
Okay. I'm just about, I am going to do some pen on it afterwards. Or I think I might get some a black Nuvo drop, or I might have not an iridescent, like a black glitter drop, and do that for his eye.
Oh, cool.
So you can tell his eye different from that black part on his face. Otherwise, they're going to look the same. All right, so now those 3 red feathers. There's 1. There's 2. Where did the 3rd one go? Oh.
There.
Okay, I'm going to make you full screen. There you go. Oh, wow, that's cool. That's very cool.
Now, the purples don't really pop out as much because you still see white on them.
Actually, they do because they got that gold. It's a metallic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the gold metallic makes the purple pop. That's
Okay.
Kind of cool, surprising. But
Yeah, and then
wow, that is really cool. Fantastic.
and then that's the original.
Okay, I like yours better.
Yeah, yours is great. I like that.
Thank you. And then this is her so far. I will probably try more with her. I don't know. I'm pretty hating her right now. So I like what I did here. And then I don't like her. So
Can't see any of her.
it's because I threw her away.
Oh. Oh. Don't hate on her.
I think I would do better with painting her.
Yeah. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying to you.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So that's this.
Sarah, are you about at a showing point? At least,
Yeah,
at least as far as you are?
I think so. I think I'm done.
Oh, wow. Hold it up close to the camera too so they can see. Wow. That
Wow,
looks
that's
like a
interesting,
quilt.
Sarah.
That looks like one of your
It does.
quilts, Sarah. That's gorgeous. Totally looks like one of your quilts.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. That is really, really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very nice.
Thank you. I like your guys too. I love the cardinal.
Let's see here.
Okay, now we have to see the cardinal up close.
Okay. Looks like a black cap chickadee, only the cap and mask area is sort of cornflower powder blue. Make those butterfly wings and make the skirt from lace, and you have the three best things: butterflies, flowers, and lace. Okay, let me just glue his wing on. Yeah. Wing gonna take a bit to dry.
That's the other thing is you can break apart the pieces that you need to make them, and then glue them on to, you know,
And
things. So you
put
don't
my
have
hand there to do his face, and so
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. I still need to do his legs. Let's see. Where are we? There we go. Still need to do his legs. I will do some drop that is a glossy black or an iridescent black or something like that for his eye. Need the line separating his beak. This just needs to glue down. I'll have to hold that, and it's going to take it a bit. Glue on paint is harder than just on paper. So I'll get his legs and his feet, but he's got a 3D tail and a 3D wing. So it helps him look like he's more real. He was fun. He was very intricate. A lot of very fiddly. Well, only parts. Most of it wasn't, but just parts of it were very fiddly and intricate. But I enjoyed making him. They like all of them.
I do too.
No, Margie's starting to like butterflies, flowers, and lace. Oh, what's the world coming to? Love the cardinal. Thank you. Well, what about my banana? You like my banana?
I do
I
like
like
a
the
banana.
too.
Oh, I'm just teasing. Silly banana. Tricks are for kids. Oh, give the fiddly bits to Jen, right?
Yeah.
Give her all these little fiddly bit leftovers. As I'm going, like all these little tiny things like this, I knew I had to do these little parts, and so I'll save them for that. But once I'm done with those, I'll throw these away. It's somehow easier for me to keep a cleaner area when I'm collaging. But I'll keep these while I'm working on that. And then when I finish this picture, I'll keep anything that's big enough like this or this, big enough to actually do something with. And then all the little tiny things, unless it's super cool, like this metallic right here, all the little tiny things, I'll just toss them. And I don't have a problem with that because I can make more on the gel plate, right? And we always want to make more anyway. Get that to stay down. Yeah. Besides, his legs aren't going to be red. So.
Yeah, I would just color them in. Those little tiny things.
Yeah. I'm going to find some probably like sand colored. I think I've got some tissue paper that gel plated. and just put that down. And just checking to see what color his feet should be, if they're the same sand. I think they are, but for the most part,
usually yellowy, brownish.
Neutral, yeah. Pretty neutrally. All right. So what? Toss scrap? I know. Haven't had a real banana in years. Really? Jen loves the banana. Banana.
Bananas are never any good here.
Really?
Yeah. I
Bananas
buy one and it's overripe the
That's
next
the next
day.
day. Yep. If I buy them, they have to have green on them.
I had
Even green down to
absolutely
here.
green on mine, and they
Yep.
still were green, but they were rotten inside.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
I hate when that happens, because I watch the skin and there's an absolute perfect place for me to eat them.
Yep, me
But
too.
once they turn completely yellow or have any brown spots at all on them, nope,
Exactly.
done. I can't. Yeah, isn't that weird? Love them when they're green. Yeah. When they're green or slightly green, they have that green tinge, so they're nice and firm. But once they get soft and mushy and brown spots and stuff like that, I can't. Ugh.
No good.
Banana bread, that's all. Yep, before the starches turn to sugar. Yep, once they're too sweet, they're just way too sweet for me. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes. It was fun. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. Okay, so be sure to, those who are watching, be sure to make your collage picture, hashtag HPPJUNCOL. We will all go post ours, and I will put a post in the group. That way people can see it. So if they forgot or didn't, see the live or something, they can know what the challenge is for June. Let's get some really cool posts out there of things that you're making, because they're just fun to see. Everyone is different. They're just so much fun to look at. And be prepared for next week to be something completely different with collage. Definitely still bring your gel prints or altered paper, any that you have made, and think about what kind of landscape you might want to do. And it doesn't have to be super intricate. It can be what's out your window. It can be a favorite place to go, by the lake, in the cabin, on the beach, all those things. So think about that. Meanwhile, we'll see you in the group. Thanks, DM.
bye. No problem. I
Bye.
enjoyed this.
See ya.
Sarah,
Bye, Sarah. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Bye.